on this week?
I did. I got it done last night. I'm not sure that I did it right, but I can tell you about what I did. So
Okay.
if you go to, let's see, slide number 9, research the partner on SpyFu.
Yes.
So I looked up JA Solar. They're a manufacturer of solar panels. So that's what I looked up. And I just took a couple of different screenshots that showed the different things. So JA Solar, and then on the side, I wrote 3 things that I found that matched it kind of had like a question or an explain here, but I took that part out and just wrote my answer. So for instance, JA Solar only had three words that it used for the click advertising. But when I clicked to open up that little section that says 3, you know, maybe it'd be easier if I shared my screen. So let me see if I can do that. Hold on.
You should be able to.
Let's see, it's that green button. All right, are you guys seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see right here, this was the number of words that they used to advertise on, and it was microcrystalline panels or something like that. And so it had 3 words, but it was really the same word. So it was microcrystalline panels, all one word, and then it was micro with a hyphen, and then crystalline panels was another one, and then it was just the words separated. So it was really the same word, which doesn't really help much. Then if you go down here on the bottom, you can see the red line that's going across.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the concerns I was worried about is you can see that they're making a big jump in their sales just in the last little while, which makes me wonder if there's going to be back orders, if I'm going to be able to actually get the product that I want. So that's what I did for that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's right, but that's what I did. And then I went into the IBS world, and this big one right here is where, when I first put in.
So you use the same company, right? JA Solar for this IBIS world?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, this one was, this was an electrical contractor.
Okay.
Thorco Electrical.
Okay. So it really doesn't matter. I think we just have to look into one of the partnerships, right, that we had suggested. Okay.
Right. And that one just worked for me. I just was curious to see what it said. So this gray panel right here, I didn't put it in the screenshot, but across the top of that screen was the options to get to things like this and this.
Okay. All right.
Oh, we have a new person.
Hey, hello everybody. This is Robert.
Hey.
Hey, so are you saying that you just used the sample ones that I already had in there instead of researching ones that you had done on your own?
No, these are the ones. These are the company that I looked up.
Okay, these are the ones that you looked up, but you just did them on each. Did you do all 4 of them, or did you just do 3?
I did 3.
Okay, great, thanks.
Jenny, you were going to say something.
Yeah, so I don't know which instructors you guys have, but I have Brother Romney, and I'm finding that as long as I do something and try, you know, that I went in there, I looked at it, and this is what I've gained from it. He usually accepts it. So whether I'm doing them right or not, I don't know. But generally, that's what I'm finding. That it's a lot more broad as long as I'm trying.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants us to see that we can go in and use the tools, and then be able to read them and understand what we're reading. I don't think that it matters if it's super high detailed, although I wouldn't just put one line.
Yeah.
So I closed the screen share. Did that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm with Brother Ellsworth, and he will dock. He docked me pretty significantly for not filling things out to his.
Well, I fill out everything, and I answer every question. And, you know, if it has more than one thing in the question, I make sure I have each one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the business model, I always have several things. You know, when I make a new Post-it note, there's several of them. It's not just one.
Yeah. I have a physical business map going on for my business on a whiteboard. So it makes it a lot easier for me to just quickly sit down on a Saturday evening and just fill it out really quick. I've got my Post-it notes. I've got a Sharpie. It's just, I've done business mapping before, but I really like this concept more than anything else I've ever used.
Yeah, Brother Romney did insist that I use the map, the template that they used, and then you put the little tiny things on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it frustrating because I can't read it unless I click on it. And I had it set up originally in an Excel. You know, in Excel you can manipulate things and change the colors and see what's right there. And that would be easier for me. But that's the way I look at things. In a row, columns, different colors. The map is a little confusing for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I never know how much information I need to put on there. It seems like I could just keep putting some things, but I never know what is really acceptable on it.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't know that there's a right answer. And I think that's kind of the point, is that we are looking at different things and we're at least putting something on so that we've thought about a different angle or a different idea.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, and as long as there's more on there, and you can, I think the teacher can differentiate between everything, and then the fact that I don't think it's not meant for huge details. That's what your business plan is for, is to write out your details and everything else. The map is just to show quick specifics that you recognize. So as long as you're making those pivots every week and making sure that something changes on that map where you can quickly recognize and go, oh, this will tie to this other principle in my business plan, then I think that's what they're kind of looking for on it.
So if you guys don't mind, what are your different businesses that you're doing?
Anybody? I don't mind going first. I actually, I've had this startup for a while. My brothers and I make knives out of railroad spikes, and I hand stitch leather sheaths for them. I've been going to gun shows here in Utah and selling them for quite a profit.
So where do you get your spikes?
I had one initial source that actually gave me a 5-gallon bucket of them for like $10. And they are used spikes, so they were used on the railroad track somewhere, but I don't know where. And so I bought them legally, and we made a forge, and it all started about, I don't know, like 5 years ago. Right before my brother went on his mission, he's like, I really want to make a sword of Laban. So my dad's like, well, let's do it. We found plans for a forge, and we've kind of just puttered around with it ever since until we've perfected our process, and we go from there.
I think that's a cool idea. I have 5 boys, and they would be all over that. Yeah,
in fact, I think I have a Blogspot, but I don't have any pictures up on it right now because I accidentally cleaned off the laptop that the Pascali was running off of, and so it cleaned my Blogspot, but I know that they're online still. Let me see if, let me just go ahead and screen share real quick.
Okay, while you're looking, Jenny, you're the one that's doing bookkeeping, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, and this class is really challenging me. Oh, wow. Those are cool. Pull that back up.
Here, let me just click on me real quick. So this is, these two are mine. See if it'll actually pull. So that's an action knife that we did. That's a Brazilian cherry handle with brass pivots. That's actually made out of a 3/4 ton truck spring.
Wow, they're beautiful.
My son made some in Scouts, but they didn't look like that.
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
definitely hard labor, and it's not scalable by any means. So I'm actually looking into, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the little neck knives. They're just really, they're like this much of a blade, and then a handle, and then just a little leather sheath. And they sell for a lot more than the spike knives do. And I can get a source for some steel blanks for them for just really cheap, and I could do them in Damascus steel and charge $300 or $400 a piece for them.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is scalable. I haven't been able to do any forging or anything lately, just on account that I'm so busy. But
Yeah.
but Jenny, you're doing bookkeeping then?
Yeah, I have a bookkeeping business, and this class it's hard. It's one of the hardest classes I've had, but it's also the one that's helping me the most. I mean, it's forcing me to go out and do things that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of time in, but I'm seeing benefits come from it too. So
Yeah. My product is a little different. So I've been a mom for the last 25 years, and I learned a long time ago to wear aprons because they had pockets. So I could put my phone in it or pick up whatever odd thing I found around. Well, now I'm working and I don't have any place to put my phone. So I tried a couple of different iterations of having a pocket that would attach to my pants or the inside seam at the waist. And through all these pivots and changes, I'm working on developing a blazer that has a pocket for the phone on the inside for women, but it will have RF sheeting material inside it to block it between your skin and your phone, so that it reduces the chances of breast cancer. Because when women carry their phone like inside their blouse or tucked on their bra strap, then they have breast cancer quite often. So I'm working to partner up with the Susan G. Komen Foundation or the American Cancer Association. So those are just some of the things I'm working on. I don't know if it will work this week. I'm investigating the physics behind that, because when you have an energy force like magnets, it's more of I'm going to say a spherical energy, and I don't know if one layer of fabric where it doesn't completely enclose the phone will be protective or not. So that's where I'm at.
I think that's a great idea. Women's clothes do not have pockets, and
I
it's
know.
very irritating.
Yes, it's frustrating. So.
Hey guys, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta slip out real fast. I just want to tell you guys thanks for the help. I'm sorry I gotta slip out.
Oh, not
Okay.
not a problem.
Did I
at all,
answer the
Jeff.
questions that you had on the template?
No, I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm in the same boat as a lot of people that were confused on it. It really does help. I think I've got to finish a little bit of that tonight, but it does help. I really appreciate you guys' help.
Yeah, I think we're doing better than we think we are. So,
Yeah.
all right. Good luck.
Just
Have a good
gotta
night.
hold on. Okay, thanks guys.
Thanks.
Hopefully we're in a group
Good
together
night.
when we hit group work. Okay, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Well, speaking of group work from Jeff, I feel like this going into the semester, like, it's very top heavy. You do a lot of work in the beginning of the week, and so I feel like maybe the semester's designed that way. So once we hit group work, it starts to slow down a little bit. We start to apply everything that we're learning from the beginning of the semester. At least that's what my hope is.
We can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both have Ellsworth, and he seems to be fairly stringent in some of his requirements.
I know it seems like he requires so much out of the PowerPoint presentation, and then like I said, I have a physical business map, and I just jot down a couple things on a sticky note and make sure the sticky notes are different colors, and it makes it so that he sees I'm actively updating it, and he gives me full points for it every week on that. But I miss one little thing on that PowerPoint presentation, and it's automatically docked points. Yeah,
he is fairly strict, which is good and bad. It just, you have to be very attentive to details. So, but it's good. So yeah, for my business, there's lots of details. So it's been very helpful I'm doing a virtual reality learning system for handgun owners for real world situations. So I'll show you my BMC real quick if I can share it.
Yeah, go for it. That
I
so
think I
like a tech online virtual reality that's kind of like in home.
Yeah, so it's virtual reality scenarios that are set up for real world situations because most people only have handgun experience at a range. So when they're confronted with a real world situation with any of those things, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. So this gives you the ability to walk through scenarios multiple times and unlimited different scenarios to test and to learn how you should react in different situations. It uses both virtual reality systems, like through the Oculus Rift or the Samsung, the HTC Vive. And on top of that, it has a learning management system, which lets you build up learning tracks so that you can go through a series of different scenarios to figure out what you're going to do, whether you're a business owner or whether it's a home invasion scenario, whatever it may be.
Question with that: how are you tying that to the hands? Are you going to have a module component for your handgun?
Yeah, so in my initial phase of it, they have little wands that you can use, which will be used as just testing because they monitor your hand movement through different internal mechanisms.
Like over your mouth,
yeah. But they do have a technology now that they actually have dummy handguns that are the weight of different models. And there's an air piston in it so that when you fire it, it provides a recoil just as if you were firing a real handgun. So those are now being set up to work within virtual reality environments, especially if you have the Oculus Rift type environment.
Yeah, that's an ingenious plan. I know I've spent quite a bit of time and money down in West Mountain, if you guys are familiar with Utah at all. It's just an open range where you can just shoot. And I've gone through tech with my dad because he's post PD. He used to do security. He worked for Provo PD security for the LDS Film Studio back when I was just a tyke. So I've gone through some pretty extensive tactical with him, but it costs a lot of money.
Oh yeah, there's millions of dollars just spent in gun ranges, and then if you want to have the advanced training, which is a real world type experience, you can do those, but it is expensive to do them. And this will allow just setup of a virtual world, put the scenario in that you want, and then you can run it in the comfort of your own home, or possibly even at a gun range where they resell this service. And then you can run through it multiple times, unlimited times, try different techniques, get to where you're comfortable with those type of situations. So especially with the amount of, CHLs and open carry going on right now, to me, it's worrisome to know that there's so many people on the streets with a handgun that have very little experience using one.
Yeah, it definitely is true. But then again, it does deter crime. I mean, if you know anybody is going to be out there, and I mean, you look at crime rates down in Texas, places like Texas or Montana, and it just isn't there because there's a handgun or a 12 gauge or a rifle sitting behind every door on every hip.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, I live in Dallas, so this is a great location to launch this at a small scale to just target the local community, because there's enough people that would be potential customers here that you probably don't need to go any further. But the hope is it's something that would be that would catch on and you can go national with it.
Oh yeah, it's great. I know, like I said, I probably spent close to 10 grand in ammo just going out and training with my dad's 40. So I mean, and I have the opportunity to go to some place where it's just a hillside and look, there's a pumpkin. He's going to try and shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Kind of a thing. But it makes it. It does. It brings it home. If you can get a real world situation or scenario, it's very different than what people think it actually really is.
Yeah. Virtual reality has got to the point now where when you get within a virtual reality immersive world, it's very hard to tell yourself that you are not actually experiencing what you are. One of the sister companies where I work is a virtual reality development company. So we test out all of their stuff all the time. And, heights and navigation and the interaction is really amazing within the virtual reality experience now.
That's a great idea. Well, do you guys have anything else that we need to talk about, or that you want to talk about?
Well, I think we need to talk about the case and some of the things that we're learning this week, like the different partnerships.
That's a great idea. As I said, I've taken a look at the case study. I haven't had a chance with my other classes at this point to dove into it hard, but I have done the reading and gone through the podcasts on this week's stuff. Honestly, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I'd never thought about looking at a partnership as someone you might purchase a piece of equipment or a piece of your product for production from.
That your supplier was your partner, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was most interesting when they were talking about investors, and everyone talks about getting investors and how great that is and how you need that. But really what you need is a sales deal. And that's really what's going to drive your business. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. And then if partnerships don't work out, you still have to be nice because they might buy you out.
Very true. The sales, rather than investment route, I actually have been very careful about that in not only my business, but my uncle is an entrepreneur. He actually started Blizzard Entertainment. He's no longer there because of the way that they wanted to take their gaming. He didn't agree with it. But he now runs one of the most successful mystery escape rooms in Utah, and was one of the first to open a mystery escape room in the U.S. and now has U.S. contracts and things like that. And I actually sat down with him last semester, and he's like, don't go for the investment, go for the sale. Do everything you can to pitch that sale, because you get a sale or a contract for sales. Like he's contracted with the military, and they're doing kind of the same thing that Robert's talking about here with the virtual reality, except he goes and sets up the escape rooms, and they have to find their way out of those, They've got to find their way out of that situation, real world situation. And he said, if I had all these investors in my company, I would have never been able to grab that contract and get that sale. And that's a pivot. That was a huge thing for him to grab that sale and have it. So I have a huge testament of that.
Cool.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, when I was doing the templates and talking about, there's a section where you talk about the risks and the benefits of the different partnerships. And it seemed like on a lot of them, so my partners who were my suppliers and partners who were the electrical contractors who would actually do the installation of the solar systems, that the quality of my business was very much reliant on the quality of their business. And to me, that's uncomfortable. I like to be in charge. I like to know exactly what's going on. Not that I have to do it, but it needs to be done to my satisfaction. And I thought, well, if I partner with this electrical contractor and he hires, I don't know, some felon off the street, then what kind of quality can I guarantee my my customers, that there's a risk there.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And that's the risk of partnerships, is you're always relying on your partner to perform as expected. After we identified the 5 different partner scenarios, it had us pick the 2 that were most important or critical. And I picked the installers, and I picked the suppliers of the cells, because without either one of those being good pricing, scalable, and reliable, there's no way that you can do this type of business and grow it.
Yeah. Jenny, what do you think? Do we still have Jenny?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, sorry. I agree completely with you guys in that if you're going to develop a partnership, no matter who it's with, you've got to be careful about quality and how that's going to affect, that's going to reflect on you. And so that was one of the biggest risks. However, I do see it kind of as almost a necessary evil, because in order to get things, you're going to have to really be able to rely on people. So
yeah, I think going through those, the 2 most interesting ones was trying to figure out a good partner for the co-op petition and the traffic partner. So those were the 2 that took me the most time to find a good partner for those, just because it's not something you typically think of as a partner. So in the end, I picked a company called Solar Power International for my co-op petition, because they're they're a government agency that has a logo and certification and all things like that. And then I picked a cooperative for my traffic partner, just because as you get involved with a cooperative and contribute to the whole, then everybody grows through it. But those were the 2 that I found most probably difficult or interesting, challenging.
Yeah. So during the podcast, when they were talking about the big company that you're trying to partner with, that you're just a little speck and that they don't really care about you, and the intellectual property, that concerns me as well. It makes me nervous to partner with people or tell someone what my idea is until I have it, fully functioning and going, and I have all the paperwork done and signed and whatever intellectual property I can own. It just seems like there's been a lot of little companies in my area that have started out and been great, and then somebody comes in and takes them over, and does what they were doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. There's a case study or I guess a business that I studied last semester in one of my business classes. And the guys actually they're from Wyoming, and they make saddles. They're a big saddle company now. And their IP was a huge form and factor in their company. And they found that, yeah, they could ship stuff out to China and get it made out there. But if they weren't careful about how they did that, there were at least a dozen other factories out there that would replicate that process. And within a week, they were producing the same thing and selling it cheaper than what he was able to put on the saddles and make and sell himself. And so he ended up actually just fragmenting out and making sure that nobody had the same pieces to the saddles. And he actually fabricates all of his saddles in-house, so that, yeah, these little pieces that he needs get produced cheaper in China, but nobody really knows how it goes together. And so his IP is totally protected.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Joy. I just watched it last night, but it's a perfect example of how a great idea gets co-opted by a supposed partner, and the you can lose everything that you have because you don't protect your IP.
Yeah, I'm actually with my knives business right now. There's a couple different websites and people out there who are actually picking up my brand name, my name of RXR Knives, and they're using it. They're saying, hey, look, we can make RXR Knives in this type of camp stove or forge, and here's our product that we're trying to sell, but we're making this guy's knives via our product. And I mean, I have my logo trademarked. I haven't gone out and filled out the paperwork for it yet. But as long as that TM is there, like it said in those podcasts, as long as that TM is there, everyone should consider that trademarked, and they're not allowed to use it. So I'm actually going to be contacting them here with one of my cousins who's a lawyer and say, hey, if you're going to use my name, you got to pay up, because this is clearly a trademarked situation. So, and maybe they end up just paying me. That'd be great.
Or maybe your brand becomes the brand of, like how Kleenex, it's not always a Kleenex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if everybody else is making knives that are made out of railroad spikes, but if they're going to call it an RXR knife, they got to be able to have my permission to do it.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Oh, thanks. It's definitely a real world situation that a lot of people have problems with, is that IP, and yeah, it's a hard one, especially with how data travels today.
It's good that you're getting right on it. I mean, if you let it go for a while, then you might end up not being able to enforce it as well. So it's good that you're.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to Google RXR Knives, my blog spot is the first one up on the page. So I mean, I've got domain, I've got everything like that, and these guys have actually had their ad up for the past couple of months. It's just a matter of timing and schedules for my cousin and I to get together with my dad and go through and see what we really can do. But yeah, I plan on contacting them here pretty quick and seeing if I can get that resolved. Because you're right, time. If I let too much time go, then they can come back and say, hey, look, why didn't you contact us 6 months ago? So
yeah, the problem with IP disputes is if people aren't amiable, then going to court on those things is expensive, takes forever, and everybody ends up losing.
Yeah, that's where I feel like I'm lucky to have some help from my cousin. I have quite a few cousins and an uncle who's a lawyer, and then my brother-in-laws. I have like 3 or 4 brother-in-laws who have all dabbled in law and business before. So it's extremely helpful to have that immediate relationship with someone who really knows what they're talking about.
Well, good luck with it.
Oh, thanks. It's real world adventures. I mean, that's what business is all about, is getting out there and just having a good time and being adventurous with everything.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time, because this class is stressing me out.
I'm not saying the class ain't stressing me out. Don't get me wrong. This class is very stressful for me. Lots of busy work, lots of work, and with everything that's going on with me right now, it is definitely a hard thing to do. But I do love the business.
Good. Well, if someone else has something to say, about what we've learned about this week, great. I just wanted to have some housekeeping issues for tonight. Who's running the live broadcast?
I actually have the live broadcast here, Jennifer.
Okay, so I thought, I've opened up for me the chat bar on the right, and I thought I would just enter my name and that I'm in Brother Romney's class, or section 4. And so I'm wondering if you could turn it in so we get credit for, having talked about this and taught each other. If you could include that in the comments when you send it to him.
Yeah, I actually plan on going ahead and not only posting the link for the recording in the Google document, but also emailing. It looks like we're all either from Romney or Ellsworth. So I'll go ahead and email both Romney and Ellsworth and just let them know, hey, look, here it is. These are people who are there. And it's clear because, I mean, it shows our names at the bottom. It's a live broadcast. So I'll go ahead and email them the link to the broadcast. I made it public so anybody can watch it. So.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, my family came home from Mutual and they're loud. Sorry.
Hey, loud family's a happy family.
Yep. So did anybody else have anything else that they wanted to bring up? Okay, well then I'm gonna go. Thanks again, Matthew, for doing that.
And
You guys
not
have a great
problem,
night
guys.
and good luck with the rest of this week.
Hey.
Maybe we'll see you in the group projects.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care.
Take care, guys.
Thanks again. Bye.